Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. The jet stream right now taking a big dive across the prairie and then racing from southwest to northeast across the central U.S. That is triggering a cooler pattern across the prairie, though we will see some moderation over the next couple of days. Short-lived moderation here as this ridge begins to slide across the prairie, but heading into the next couple of days, we're really going to establish a pattern here. We've got a trough locked in across the Hudson Bay, down into the central U.S., across the Canadian Prairie then, the jet stream racing from northwest to southeast. That's going to keep cooler air in the forecast and opportunities for just light snow flurries almost every day across the prairie as little upper-level disturbances, subtle upper-level disturbances track through the area. Now, the next 5 days of temperature anomaly forecast here, keeping things quite cold across the southern prairie. Again, some moderation here over the next couple of days, but by and large, getting a reinforcing shot as we head into the first couple of days of November. It's also a drier pattern across the prairie. Again, daily opportunities here for some of these light snow flurries. Just looks like you're in a snow globe maybe, but not talking about any big impacts from the snow. The bigger impact is going to be the cooler temperatures over the next 10 days. Opportunity here as we head into Sunday and Monday for maybe some more measurable precipitation across parts of Alberta. Now, as we look at the satellite picture, again, you can pick out the jet stream flow, this little ridge across British Columbia, taking a big dive then across the prairie and then racing off to the northeast across the central U.S. As it does that across the central U.S., a big storm system being developed again across in advance of that trough. We talk about ridges and troughs. It's in advance of that trough that we get the big storm system developing. Caught in between that in the prairie, that is really a dry spot to be. And that's why when we take a look at the radar here, perhaps a couple areas seeing a snowflake or two flying through the air, but by and large, the radar is quiet across the prairie. Now, as we look at the 500 millibar vorticity chart, again, these little vort maxes, these vorticity maximum, these are where we look for just areas of lift where they're headed, enough lift here to produce, when you see a big area like this, a major storm system in advance of that. But when we're talking about these little disturbances that you're going to see traveling through the prairie as I loop this animation, that's where we're talking about just enough lift there to lead to some light snow flurries in a very cold air mass. So focus here and just watch the parade from northwest to southeast of these little disturbances. We'll go through time, we'll bring it back here, get this animation rolling, and we'll step through it day by day here. Heading through Wednesday, here comes the little system. You see just the little subtle trough, the little subtle wave there, those red colors, that's one upper level disturbance. We head into the weekend, we see another one swing through. That one perhaps a little bit more potent, bringing some precipitation to parts of Alberta. Here we see another one swinging through, and it's just these little ribbons here of vorticity that could lead to just enough lift to lead to some snow flurries across the prairie. Now, what it's also going to do with these reinforcing shots coming in from the northwest, that's going to keep a cold air mass locked in as we look at the next 5 days, next 6 to 10, and the 11 to 15 day time frame, keeping cooler than average temperatures locked into this corridor here from the prairie into the Midwest. I'm going to be dealing with this just as much as you guys are, so I feel the pain a bit here as we deal with a rough start to fall, a very winter-like start to fall. As we check the European model, then the temperature forecast, going to see the same thing, cooler temperatures in the prairie right now, a little bit of a moderation as we see that subtle ridge sneak into the area here Thursday and Friday. Maybe a little bit warmer still in Alberta for part of Saturday, but really by the time we get to Sunday and Monday, right around November 3rd and 4th, we get a reinforcing shot of very cold air, and that is going to sit over the prairie as we head into much of the coming week, much of next week. And that where we're talking about temperatures, you see those purple colors showing up. That's where we're talking 10 to 20 degrees, again, below average. Not talking Celsius, 10 to 20 degrees cooler than average across the prairie. So another shot of bitterly cold air is on its way as we head into early next week. The same thing going to be illustrated here when I talk about opportunities for very light precipitation coming from northwest to southeast. As we head through the next few days, we'll go ahead and bring this back to Wednesday, watching this first little wave sneak through here Thursday, perhaps bring in some flurries to a more widespread area tomorrow. Light snow showers still possible Friday. As we head into Saturday and then Sunday, perhaps watching a more significant system bring some accumulating snow of around 5 to 15 centimeters here across parts of southern Alberta, maybe southern Saskatchewan picking up on that. But then we just continue into the next week with these just really subtle little disturbances coming in, bringing opportunities for light snow flurries, light snow showers, but not talking about significant impacts here. There's no storm system that I'm watching in particular to really shut things down in any fashion across the prairie as we look at the next 7 days. And just looping the total snow accumulation forecast through Sunday, you see the same thing, that potentially more significant system that sneaks through here. We're talking about 4 inches of snow at the most, which is about 8 to 10 centimeters of snow. And again, that is, looking like isolated areas, perhaps, and 5 days into the future. So we got to talk about this again on Friday. And as we look at the probability of picking up 3 inches of snow or more, which would be 7.5 centimeters of snow, as we head all the way through, let's take it through Sunday, so midnight on Monday. Again, only picking up on low probabilities here, less than 50 to 60% in the highest areas here across parts of Alberta into southern Saskatchewan. So really, as we head through the weekend, it's not going to be a shocker, or I don't want it to be a shocker, to see snowflakes potentially each and every day, but we're not expecting that to really amount to much, except perhaps as we get into the Sunday and Monday time frame with that system that brings the reinforcing shot of cooler air. You're going to see that here. Watch as we head into the later part of this loop, getting a bit of moderation here over the next couple of days, but there comes that blast of cooler air, and it doesn't go anywhere. We just continue to see flow around that upper level low situated over the Hudson Bay, keeping this corridor from the prairie into the Midwest just kind of stuck in this cooler pattern as we head into the first week of November. Taking a look at Alberta then, the total precipitation forecast, and again, it's very dry until we get to maybe Sunday, perhaps bringing more significant precipitation to the area. But as we look at through Saturday, let's take it back. Let's really just kind of take it through Saturday with this current pattern, talking about light amounts at the most, talking about maybe 3 to 4 millimeters of precipitation across the area. Not until late Saturday into perhaps Sunday do we get anywhere from 10 to 20 millimeters of precipitation in just isolated areas, a narrow corridor or two perhaps. Looking at the snow forecast that accompanies that, again, daily chances for flurries, but no real accumulation expected until perhaps we get to Saturday and Sunday. And if we do see any accumulation here, it's just trace amounts on the ground, enough to kind of coat the grass and the roadways perhaps, but no significant snow that we're going to be digging out of here over the next few days. Your high temperature is right around 5 degrees as we head to Wednesday afternoon. Waking up tomorrow right around 0 in Alberta. And then on Thursday afternoon, waking up or warming up once again to around 5 degrees. If you're lucky here, some areas in the lower single digits. Thursday night lows into Friday morning, heading down below 0, around 3, 4, 5 degrees below 0 before we warm up to around 5 or 6 degrees in southern Alberta for the day on Friday. Now flipping it over, Saskatchewan and Manitoba, precipitation even lighter over here, not seeing quite the impacts from that potential Saturday and Sunday storm system. As we look at the total snow, once again, just daily opportunities for some of these light accumulations here, but certainly not even talking about anything above, 2 to 5 centimeters of snow here. It's the temperatures, it's not the snow here that we're talking about, and that's typical for a winter-like pattern across this area. Your high temperatures for the day today, below 0 in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Not going to get above 0 tonight either. We'll still be around 5 to 8 degrees below 0, warming up to near freezing Thursday afternoon, and then heading back to around 5 below Thursday night into Friday morning, and then Friday once again warming up to around 0, give or take a couple of degrees. As always, Eric Snodgrass will have an in-depth look at the evolution of the next 1 to 2 weeks in our Thursday morning ag forecast video, and I will be right back to check on the Canadian Prairie on Friday morning.